Yo, what up? What's going on? How you doing? How's it hanging? You hanging on, hanging in? Good. Work week is over. You made it. You hear that humming in the background? Wait, I'll be quiet for a second. You hear that? You know what that is? That's Cyberpunk running on my PlayStation. That's right. So today's intro is going to be real short and sweet. Just going to take a second. Thank everybody for listening. We really appreciate it. And just want to let you know that today's episode is really good. I know I say that every week, but I mean it this time. And we had a lot of fun doing this one. A lot of laughing. A lot of mega great high times. What does that phrase even mean? Mega great high times. I don't fucking know. All I know is I want to get back to playing Cyberpunk. So let's start the show. Porzingis. I know.
Porzingis.
I just felt like saying Porzingis.
More like poor dingus.
Hey-o. All right, welcome to this episode of Stone Sports. I am your host, Bert Spacklin, MD. With me, I have my co-host, Double. Say what up, Dubs.
The fuck is up?
And my co-host, Meech. What's happening, Meech?
What up, dude?
How's the week been, boys?
It's been okay so far.
Yeah?
Nothing out of the ordinary, no.
No? Okay, what about you, Meech? Having a good week?
Actually, no. No, you know what? My week's been shit.
He's gonna alter that one.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I thought it wasn't going so great.
Mulligan. My PlayStation died this week.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. That's a
that
big
$50 PlayStation we bought to replace the one that died 6 months ago finally shit the bed. And I corrupted a couple of my games. So.
Oh no, that's horrible.
Yeah, we lost COD and now GTA's having issues, but we'll see.
Damn, I'm probably gonna play Cyberpunk
You know
tonight.
what? You know what did? We got a little good that came out of it.
What?
When I got this new system, I got Overwatch back.
Hey, lit. I've actually kind of wanted to play recently, like weirdly been having a hankering.
I've fallen.
I know Meech is not about that game.
Oh my god.
I've fallen back into the trap of my abusive lover.
Bro,
I told him,
dude, hit me up. Get at your boy.
Over it.
Get at your boy. I'm down.
God.
I'm not down tonight because I'm playing Cyberpunk tonight, bro. Yeah,
I'm getting on as soon as we're done.
I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch.
Bitch.
I only want to play the most like anticipated game of the past couple years.
Overhyped
But I'm
game
a
of all
bitch.
time.
You want to play the Daft Punk simulator?
Yes, I love Daft Punk. Of course, I want to play the Daft Punk simulator.
And he loves Keanu Reeves. Punk 27 is.
What's Frodo
right
call
up
him?
fucking his
Keanu?
alley.
All right, Frodo calls him Keeney. All right, here's
Jesus.
for real though. Like game publishers out there, if you hear this, please make a Daft Punk simulator. I will play the fuck out of that game.
Oh my God.
You'll have one player.
Yeah, it'll be Birdie playing the fuck out of it.
And however many members there are in Daft Punk.
I'll be in my room going one.
No,
more
not even they
time."
want to hear their shit still.
Dude, fuck off. Fuck off with that bullshit.
They play other shitty techno bands in the car when they're in
Oh
there.
my god, I hate you guys so
R.I.P.
much right
Avicii
now.
just blasted it.
Are you guys high at all? Because it's not feeling
Are you
like
kidding
it.
me?
Are you
I
kidding?
am on a different planet right now, dude. Why do you think you had to ask me 4 times if I was ready to go? I was like,
Yeah,
I
You're
don't know,
just
man.
cosplaying Matt
I
Damon in The
don't know.
Martian.
Holy shit.
He's an Ooter Spoos. That's a really
Yeah.
good joke, Dubs. Way to go, man. Starting the show off strong. Do you guys want to talk about, what do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about baseball? You want to talk about basketball? You want to talk about hockey? I feel like we should touch on all three and then we'll kind of move to the football stuff.
I won the coin toss and I chose to defer.
Okay, so you're
I said,
deferring.
I was going to say, I feel like I'll just jump right in. MLB, a couple big signing, not huge signings, still a couple big free agents on the market. Bauer is still available. Puig is actually available. DJ LeMahieu is available. So there's still a few free agents on the market that have yet to get deals. However, Adam Eaton signed back with the White Sox for 1 year at $7 million with another club option for $8.5 million the next year. That's where he started out before he went to Washington. So he goes back to where he started. Carlos Santana signed a 2-year deal worth $17 million to go to. Why did I not write down the team?
I got
The
you.
Royals.
Okay,
To go
I was
to
gonna
the
give you some.
Royals.
I was gonna give you some intermission music and just be like,
Jesus, I did not write. Okay. And then Matt Whistler signed with the Giants for 1 year for $1.5 million, so a super bargain for
You
the
know what
Giants.
the whistles do, Meech?
Whistles go woo.
The whistles go woo. Woo woo.
I'll hand it off to the NBA. There's not much going on. Harden is reporting to camp after initially saying he would not, which that's we've talked about Harden before in this
fuck
podcast.
that guy.
Yeah,
Fuck
but
him.
he's basically a douchebag for doing. They have done everything he wanted, and he refused to sign an extension.
Yeah,
now
what the
wants
fuck
out.
is his problem, bro?
Yeah,
His
and the
stats-
reason.
His stats are lower in cities with well-renowned strip clubs.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying
know.
there are stats on
We
that.
know you told
Yeah.
that shit. But
What were you gonna say, Meech? Sorry.
you're good. It's just he's such a douchebag. They've done everything that he's wanted them to do, and then he wants it out and was essentially going to hold out. And then someone told him that you have guaranteed money and you'll lose that guaranteed money, unlike NFL players. So, I mean, they hopped out because they have no other options. This asshole is on a $41 million a year deal to be a fucking baby.
Yeah.
But anyway, he is reporting to Rockets camp. He will, after 6 consecutive no positive tests, he'll be able to start practicing with the team. And then the only other thing I wanted to bring up in the NBA, Pau Gasol might be back with the Lakers. Hello there, revisiting the Kobe years. He has indicated that he is going to try and come back to play with his brother, who just signed there in the offseason. So we'll see if Pau becomes a Laker again.
I take it that would make you happy.
Yeah, I mean, they're stacked already. They made the best moves in the offseason. Getting Pau would just add a little bit more depth. Now, granted, he's old, and I
was
don't
gonna
think
say
he's
how
played in
much
2 to 3 years. It would be really more of a sentimental thing than anything.
Right.
But I think Pau is still a body.
Yeah.
I mean, I think 2 years ago, he was in the NBA still.
Yeah, he was on the Bulls, right? Or the Spurs?
I have no fucking idea.
He was on the
Bulls
Bulls and the Spurs at some point. Oh, that might be right. That sounds right.
I think I can envision him in a Blazers jersey. Anyway, so
Blazers
we'll see
have
what
phenomenal
happens.
jerseys. Side note.
Yeah,
They are dope.
and Dame's a phenomenal player.
Your mom's a phenomenal player. Hey-o, start him off early today. Let's go. So you boys
got
wanna...
anything on the NHL, bro?
Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about and simultaneously a lot to talk about. So like, we were talking earlier and you mentioned the start date, and it's not actually an official start date. It's like a projected start date, which the 1st of January was supposed to be the original projected start date.
That's what I saw. Did it change?
Yeah, it's the 13th now, which is still fucking, it's unreasonable. It's not going to happen. Because, like, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm just going to fill you in real quick, and it'll be real quick. Basically, before the playoffs, the last playoffs, they renegotiated the CBA 2 years early. And the owners just assumed that Gary Bettman was doing it in their favor and then realized that he didn't. So now they asked the players to renegotiate it again. And the players are like, fuck you. So that's basically what's holding it up. But they're like January 13th. Go ahead. Sorry.
I read yesterday that Pierre LeBrun reported that financial hurdles have been cleared and the league is set to start on the 13th.
Yeah, no, everything, maybe that's true. But everything that I read is that it's still a projected start date and they have things they have to iron out. So, like, maybe they have renegotiated the CBA. That may be the case, but they still have things they have to iron out because they have to realign the divisions. They have to do an all-Canadian division, which would be fucking awesome if you think about it. Because, like, all those teams fucking hate each other. So to have them all just playing each other all year long would make some scrappy fucking dope-ass hockey. So, like, I'm totally down for that. But the thing is, you got to think about it. You got to have at least, like, 2 weeks of testing before you can even have the camp, COVID testing, I mean. Then you got to have at least like a week of camp, and then you got to have like at least one preseason game. And that's, 3 or 4 weeks right there. I don't think it's going to happen by January 13th. If it does, my money's on no. But I tell you what, if it does, and I'm wrong, I'll wear a t-shirt all day that day that says I heart Alex Ovechkin. I'll make that bet right fucking now.
Why do you have a t-shirt in your possession? I mean, you offered
I
that
don't.
up.
I'll just take a white shirt and draw it on there, and I'll wear it. And I'll take a picture for you, like, out in public and send it to you that I'm wearing it in public. That's the bet I'll make, because I put all my money on the fact that it does not happen.
I mean,
by
NBA
the
is
13th.
starting up now.
Yeah,
They're in
But they've
camps
been
now
COVID testing and everything. Like they've already,
yeah, they've been on top of their shit.
Right.
Like they had that shit lined
as
up.
opposed to the NHL.
Yeah, which is crazy
Yeah.
because we were all saying the opposite, like right after the NHL playoffs. Like we were all like, damn, these motherfuckers got it down. And now it's like, nope, in typical NHL fashion. So, like I said, there's simultaneously a lot to talk about and nothing to talk about. Basically, is it going to happen? Maybe. That's what it boils down to, is maybe it'll happen. I don't know. I don't
like
have
how
a
the
lot of faith
NBA
at
was
this
like,
point.
no, this is happening for the money. Thanks, we're done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, but the
we're
NBA
done here.
is like
Bye.
way more revenue than the NHL could ever even hope to be. So let's move on to the Washington football team and the Steelers game. How about that shit, bro?
Dude, I told you guys it was gonna be close. I had no fucking idea the Washington Football Club was gonna pull that one out.
Dude, I could not believe it, because I was really editing the last episode while it was going on, so I wasn't really watching, and then I kind of missed the end, and then got an update on my phone, that was that article, like upset, and I was like, what? That's crazy.
I was watching the start of the game, and I forget what happened, but I couldn't watch the middle of it, and I came back in at the fourth, and I was like, oh shit.
It started off, and I was just like, "Oh, see, I told you they would smack them." And then all of a sudden, they kept not scoring in the red zone, and I was just like, "Jesus Christ, guys, come on!" It ended up being ridiculous, and no one predicted that. Like no one fucking predicted that at all.
No, and so like I went back today and watched the highlights. Obviously highlights are like, I guess the best term would be like sort of like revisionist history in a way, like it's not going to be an accurate representation of what really happened in the game. But it looked to me like in that fourth quarter that like Washington's just like pass defense,
Their
just like
defense
step the fuck up.
They looked so good. And that fourth down play call.
Yeah, what happened there exactly? Because you sent a message in the group chat and I was like, what the fuck's he talking about?
There's a fourth down pass. I don't know what the yardage was, but I want to say it was like 4th and 4, 4th and 5 maybe. And they had Juju, Claypool, and Deontay Johnson on the field. Mm-hmm. Anthony McFarland was the running back, who's the third string running back. You might even want to call him fourth behind Jalen Samuels.
Right.
But he goes out on a wheel route. Don't know why he was on the field. Goes out on a wheel route, and that's Big Ben's target out of all those guys.
Yeah, because I remember, like I said, you sent a message in the group chat, and I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. But again, I was editing the show, so I wasn't really paying attention at that point.
And like you said, Washington's defense looked like their pass defense looked great, and Pittsburgh didn't even try to fucking run the ball. They just kept trying to pass it on them. 14 carries as a team for 21 yards.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Steelers. It was weird. The Steelers kept Washington to just 122 yards passing in the first half, and then, like you said, I mean, the Steelers just no balance pass run at all. They were all pass, and once again had 21 rush yards. So just kind of ridiculous.
Both teams combined for 66 yards on the ground, and both of the teams average 193 between them. So 130 yards less. I mean, both teams couldn't get the run going, but Pittsburgh didn't even try.
Yeah, and like I got to bring this up too. Once again, going to shit on some Washington sports fans. All day today, my social media, or really like, since the game has been flooded with like, Pittsburgh's not that good. And it's like, hold on, guys, hold on. It's like the same thing you see with like Jets fans. Like, they're like, oh, we could have won 2 of these games this season. And it's like, if you like, I was listening to my Rangers podcast, shout outs Blue Shirts Breakaway, and they're like, if you win those 2 games, does it really mean you don't suck? No, you still fucking suck. So it's like, okay, the Pittsburgh Steelers lost 1 game. Does that really mean they're not good? No, they're still a good team, you dumb fuck. Like, God.
I mean, they're still good, but they're definitely, I mean, it seems like a pivotal player gets injured every week on that defense. I mean, they had injuries to Bush. He's out for the season. Then Bud Dupree went out last week. And then this last game, they lost Robert Spillane, who took over for Devin Bush with a knee injury, who had been filling in for Bush. And then, they lost Joe Hayden last week as well. It was a possible concussion protocol. But, like, that so many pivotal players on this defense keep just not disappearing, but just coming off the field with injuries.
Yeah.
And they're huge injuries. And so I feel like they've definitely gotten hit by the injury bug this year, and that defense is showing it, I feel like.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm not saying that like they're the best team in the league, but
they've also played 7 teams this year. 7 of their wins are teams that are under 500.
Right. It's we've talked about that before.
Yeah, like I honestly think they're still a good team.
Yeah.
But it's just like how many more injuries on defense can they take before they're not? Because at some point you saw it in the back half of that game. Washington went into halftime, made an adjustment, said, "What can we do?" And then Hayden, came out, and it seemed like after that it was open season. So it's just how many more of those pivotal guys can they miss in their defense and still be a great team?
Yeah. As soon as Hayden came out, they had like 2 pretty deep balls to that Cam Sims guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just what I'm really saying is like I don't think like that one loss says everything about the team. It might say some things, but I don't think it says that they're like technically a bad team, But anyway,
I mean, no, not that one loss. I'm just saying if they keep sustaining injuries,
I
agree
that
they have.
Yeah,
they will downtrend.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
Pick up another loss or 2 in the season if that's the case.
Yeah, for sure. No, I 100% agree with you. That's a great point. I like Washington sports fans acting like they're fucking big dick shit because they beat the Steelers. It's like you motherfuckers need to sit back down and remember who you are.
They own beachfront property in your head.
Dude, I live like an hour away from there. They're fucking everywhere, man. And they are...
talked about this, though. You could definitely get away from the Washington fan base. It's really not that hard to do.
I'm telling you, where I live, you fucking cannot. Where I live, you fucking cannot. We don't have a professional sports team. They're the only one. So, like, everyone loves them. It's so obnoxious. Whatever. I'll talk to my therapist about it tomorrow. It's fine. Anyway.
Well, let's talk about an area I was right for sure on.
Yeah.
And that was Buffalo rolling the 49ers.
The line was moving.
The line, I legitimately, because I had money on this game in a couple different ways, and I legitimately could not tell you why the line was moving, other than the more bets were being poured. I don't know. I don't know. They were trying to balance out the bets, maybe. I don't know, but I kept searching for a reason. That Buffalo kept losing points, and I couldn't find it. So it was weird.
Like we talked in the preview, one of the main reasons I picked the 49ers was because of Josh Allen's play the last few weeks. It wasn't really up to par with what he'd been doing the first half of the season. But he returned to form with 32 for 40, 375 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 turnovers. Cole Beasley and Stephon Diggs combined for 19 catches, 222 yards, and a touchdown. And on the defensive end, Micah Hyde and Trey White each ripped off Nick Mullins, who had a pretty poor game.
Yeah, man. Allen looked great out of the pocket. I mean, that play where he rolls to his right, I mean, almost no one in football looks as good as him doing that. It just seems to be where he's the most comfortable. And so, they found that. He found his rhythm again, and he looked great in this game.
Yeah, I didn't watch the game, but judging by the score, it seemed like the 49ers at least put up a fight. So that's good.
I mean, Buffalo wasn't playing, how the Jets were playing last weekend, just was playing soft coverage. So, I mean, they moved up the field, but it legitimately wasn't that close. I mean, Buffalo let them back in the game, but they owned the game. And, I mean, Allen just looked in sync with Beasley, Diggs, and Gabriel Davis even looked pretty good. So
it's the second game in a row looking pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, this receiving core is sneaky good.
All right. Well, how about the Cowboys and the Ravens game? Any thoughts, opinions?
How about
Meech was pretty fucking heated.
Meech was concerned. Why was Meech concerned? Heated. Oh, he was heated. Why were you heated, Meech? What's the matter? Let's talk it out.
I lost money on this game because I thought Dallas could not. I thought that they would be competent, and that's where I messed up because Washington Football Club gave me hopes that maybe some teams aren't as bad as we think they are.
Right.
No, Dallas is legitimately as bad as we think they are.
Right.
Legitimately as bad as we think they are. They had no – I mean, I was yelling contain on Lamar Jackson. That's all you have to do. Like, and I'm not a football guy. I played 2 years in high school and, like, really half of 2 years in high school. Like, I mean – they lost contain on Lamar Jackson, and you just can't do that. If you are going to let him beat you, let it be through the air. We saw a ton of throws last night, or the night they played, that Monday night, that were not great. And I mean, he missed a guy wide open in the end zone by doing what Donovan McNabb used to do all the time, which is throw at receivers' feet. I mean, I love Donovan McNabb, but I've never seen more bounce passes like that. It was a spitting image of that. Lamar Jackson, that got wide open in the back of the end zone, rolled out, and then bounced the ball off the turf. And you were just like, how? How did you miss this man?
Yeah, he was only 12 of 17 for just 107 yards. He did throw 2 touchdowns, and he ran for another, but he did have a pick. I feel like the story of this one was Dallas not being able to stop the run. They gave up 294 rushing yards between Jackson, Edwards, and Dobbins.
And that's where they paid big money. Van Der Esch got a new contract.
I've got to bring that up.
Got a new, or where? Lawrence?
Jalen Smith.
Lawrence.
And Jalen Smith.
Yeah, okay. They gave away money on both the D-line and the linebacking core, and that got absolutely gashed. Almost 300 yards on the ground, dude. I mean, just everyone was running on him.
You shouldn't give up 109 passing yards and lose the game by double your score.
No. And like you said, I mean, Lamar Jackson only had 107 passing yards. He had 2 touchdowns, but they were close touchdowns. I mean, they were just getting gashed on the ground. It was crazy. They could not stop the run. They could not keep Lamar contained. I don't get it.
Dallas also ran 23 more plays than Baltimore and still lost by that much.
Yeah, and the usage of Zeke is just puzzling to me. I know he's fumbled a couple times, but you paid the guy big money. He's not in the field half the time. I mean, he's not. You're like, wait, I know Tony Pollard's great, but then why the hell did you pay Zeke?
And even when Zeke has been on the field this year, he hasn't been great.
He actually looked decent in this game, though. Like, he actually had a few runs where you're like, okay, that's good. A few catches where you're like, okay, that's good. And then you like go to the sideline. You're like, what? Why are you taking him out?
Yeah, and what do you guys think about Mike McCarthy?
There's 2 different opinions. I honestly think that, Gil Brandt tweeted out that Landry and Jimmy Johnson both started out 1-16, I believe. And you're just like, okay, I get it.
But Mike McCarthy's had another job.
I mean, it's not even at some point, you brought Mike McCarthy in, and then you have the old Boise State quarterback, Kellen Moore, calling the plays. Why are you so attached to Kellen Moore? It obviously has not worked out. And that's Jerry's guy, because he was there last regime too. So it's not like he was brought in.
No, that's Jerry's boy.
So why is this man calling the plays? You're getting absolutely killed. And then on defense, I mean, it doesn't matter what system you're in. If you are bringing in a defensive coordinator that is running a system that does not benefit all the guys you just paid, why are you running that system? Get a new D coordinator.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, whether you're a 3-4 or a 4-3 guy, those are 2 different types of guys you draft to be in that roster. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense at all. But now that brings us to Meech's favorite part of the show. You know what part of the show that is, Double?
The preview.
The preview. I'm going to change it up. New tone. Preview. I don't like it as much. Preview.
No, this is better. Preview.
Yeah. I'm just going to try and keep letting it go more and more each week, and maybe you guys will lessen it. I mean, maybe I'll try that approach.
Yeah, you can try that. It won't work out for you.
It won't work out because it's time for the preview.
All right. I'm getting us back on the rails here. Preview. Game 1. New England. LA Rams. Who you taking, Dubs? And I'm throwing it to you because it's New England.
Yeah, well, you mentioned railing or rails or something. We did a whole lot of railing to the Chargers last week, and I hope we're going to do the same to the other LA team.
You won't.
Birdie's least favorite LA team.
Fuck off. It's not true. For everyone listening, I'm a Rams fan, not a Chargers fan.
The team Rams, he resents instead of his actual love of the Chargers.
The Rams are 8-4, and they lead the NFC West with a tiebreaker over the Cardinals and the Seahawks, I believe.
Yeah.
Two of their 8 wins have come against teams with winning records. They also have not won more than 2 games in a row all year, despite being 8-4. They give up the 6th most turnovers in the league, and New England is 2nd in the NFL in interception rate. So that does not bode well for Jared Goff.
Yeah, I mean, so you're taking the Pats then?
Oh, of course I am. In our past
Okay.
5 games, we're 47% on third
You
down.
were
Cam's
2
been
weeks
running
ago.
all
2
over the
weeks
place.
ago,
Meech,
this
we have a
man
pretty easy
was-
schedule left, and we
Jesus.
might go 10-6. You might
2
turn around in a
weeks
couple
ago,
weeks,
this man
and we're
was
going to be
shitting all over
10-6.
Josh Daniels, and now he is kissing the feet. I'm going to take the Rams. I think they'll be fine. The Pats did
That's
that
my
to the
boy.
Chargers, and that's whatever. But McVay's not stupid. He's one of the best coaches in the league.
He's
He
0-2
knows,
against Belichick.
and I know that, and I think he'll fix that going forward.
He doesn't fix that against Shanahan. What makes you think he's going to fix it against Belichick?
Shanahan actually knows an offense. and
What?
Josh McDaniels doesn't. Anyway,
How many
Not
Super
the point.
Bowls do they have?
yeah. Anyway, you had them because you had a pairing of him and the greatest quarterback. That's not true anymore. You have a guy that doesn't throw the goddamn ball.
He runs the ball, and he's been great at it.
Your mom runs
and
the ball.
We'll see how long that lasts, but
He's got
But
5 rushing
until then-
touchdowns in the last 5 games.
I mean, I get it, and at some point he will die because you can't get hit that much and stay alive in the
He doesn't.
NFL.
He keeps getting out of bounds.
I mean, he's taking hits because
He's taking some hits, but honestly, even when he gets sacked, he doesn't get like fucking annihilated like Russell Wilson does.
because he's huge. He's bigger than most of the guys tackling him. But at some point, it will bite them, and I think the Rams are just a better all-around team. So we'll see.
Sounds like a
We're
lot of
gonna give-
backpedaling from my boy Dubs.
We're gonna give both LA teams the pipe in back-to-back weeks.
Bold predictions from my boy Dubs. We shall see. We
You
shall
already
see.
beat your fucking team.
Oh my god. It's never ending. It's just relentless. It's like a fucking toothache. How about Tennessee and Jacksonville? Who are you going to pick in that one, Meech?
I'm going Titans.
Yeah? Why?
Yeah, because the Jags are starting Mike Glennon again, and I know he did all right last week, but
I'll
it's
tell you
not
why.
going to go well.
Jags allowed 4th most rushing yards in the league. Derrick Henry was basically shut out against the Browns last week. I don't think that's going to be the case against the Jaguars. Tennessee won the first meeting 33-30. Derrick Henry was well over 100 yards. Tennessee gave up 38 first half points last week to Baker Mayfield. Mike Glennon is not Baker Mayfield. I expect Tennessee to win this one, but I think it's going to be pretty close because Jacksonville has 6 losses this year by 1 score or less.
Yeah, no, I mean, it could be close, but yeah, and especially after a week of all you heard about was King Henry, and then he's a no-show. It's not going to happen again.
No.
So
I'm
I
with
take
you.
it
Tennessee.
you're taking Tennessee Dubs? Yeah, okay. All right, cool. All right, so how about Minnesota and Tampa Bay?
I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. Coming off of a bye, they have the top run defense, which is going to force the Vikings to put the ball in Kirk Cousins' hands, which really is not too bad because he's been playing phenomenally since they've won 5 of their last 6. Kirk Cousins has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league statistically and been the best quarterback in the league in the 4th quarter over that span. Brady, 7 interceptions over the last 4. That was before the bye. Tampa was one of the last teams to get their bye. And I think that with the rest and the stout run defense, it's going to be a shootout between Brady and Cousins. And despite Brady's poor play, I will take history.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I think it is because the bye week is so like late in the season for them. That's I think is like the reason.
Even
for his poor
Arians was
play.
saying it before, like even before the Chiefs game, and they're like, we are gassed.
Yeah, and he was saying they were like cutting practices short and shit like that. I remember that. Yeah. What about you, Meech? Who you picking?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bucks as well. I just don't think they'll lose back-to-back games. Or I mean, they're coming off of back-to-back losses. I don't think they'll lose a third.
Yeah, I got you.
They do have a soft schedule coming up as well after this. So after the Vikings, they see the Falcons twice and the Lions. So not a killer schedule after the bye week. They made it the bye week as long as they can win pretty much all of these games. They should be looking pretty good.
The
All right.
plundering and pillaging game of the week between mascots, Vikings and Buccaneers.
Actually, Double, you would be the man to ask about this. You said 7 interceptions in 4 games.
Yeah.
That's got to be like up there for him, right? Like that's got to be
I
not
don't think
normal
I've
for
ever
him.
I don't think I've ever seen that stat before for Brady.
Yeah,
that's
that
all
seems like
they've
a lot
talked
for
about.
him.
That's all anyone's talked about is him in Arians' offense. I honestly don't think it's as big of a deal. I think going into it with an off season of work with those receivers, it'll look so much better next year. But it's a high clip for Brady. It's one he's not accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, and we're all in agreement that's probably because they're just gassed.
Well, it's
Bruce Arians' offense. Like I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I want to say that like every quarterback that's been under the first year of Bruce Arians is throwing 15 plus picks.
Yeah, I do remember that conversation as well. I seem to be saying that a lot the past few shows. I remember having that conversation. I'm getting old as fuck.
that pair that with no off season, and then you keep introducing new people to the mix, and it is it just doesn't matter. They're not on the same page. I mean, Brady's famous for chemistry with his shitty receivers up there in New England, so it doesn't matter if he knows where they're going to be and they know where he's going to throw it. He'll get it to them. Here, he hasn't really had that luxury.
I feel like the bye week will help that, and they're going to come out gunning against the Vikings.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a solid analysis. Well, speaking of chemistry, or I guess really rather a team that's clicking hard, we can move it to the clicking hard. We can move it to the Kansas City and the Miami game.
You clicking hard or hardly clicking?
Hard as fuck. Anyway, I think it's obvious who you're gonna pick, but I have to do my hostly duties and ask you who you're gonna pick. So who are you gonna pick, Dubs?
I'm going to take Kansas City, despite them winning each of their last 4 by only 1 score or less. Mahomes still only has 2 interceptions this year, which is pretty fucking ridiculous. Most
it is
quarterbacks throw that
absurd
in a week. Miami relies on their defense to win most games, and like I said, Mahomes only throws 2 interceptions, and that's not going to be the case. So you're going to need an all-star level performance from Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa.
Caesar.
You're going to need an all-star performance from him, and I don't expect that to come in the biggest game of his career to date. So give me the Chiefs.
I'm totally gonna, like, when I'm editing this, I'm gonna clip that and use it as a soundbite all the time. Just Dubs going, seizure. I'm using that all the time. If there's ever something I need to bleep out, I'm just gonna have Dubs going seizure instead of a beep. What about you, Meech? Who you taking?
Yeah, I mean, Double said it. We're both taking the Chiefs here. I mean, the Chiefs are good. I think they're everyone's pick for the best team in the league. The balance is good, and yeah, they haven't been blowing people away, but they have been winning games, and that's really all that matters at the end of the day. Their defense can get a stop when it needs one, and their offense could be more aggressive if they really wanted it to. I mean, they were in the red zone, I think, 3 times and didn't score touchdowns last game, and that's just not going to happen every week. It's just not. At some point, they'll start hitting those red zone connections, and they'll boost that scoring margin of victory.
Yeah, took the words right out of my mouth. Sorry, Dubs. Go ahead.
The rookie back, Hilaire, is supposed to be back this week too, or at least they're hoping he will be. And he missed last week's game in Denver with an illness, but they figured out it wasn't COVID, so they're hoping he'll be back.
What was it? Was it the flu?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and Gaskin changed the look of the Dolphins too. So I mean, he looked so much better than any of the other running backs they had trotted out the last 2 to 3 weeks without him there. So I mean, it might be a close game, but I think the Chiefs will win.
Do you think
Gaskin was a part of the fight last week with Cincinnati, do you think there would have been a headline that says Gaskin blows gasket?
Oh man, it's a fucking shame he didn't, because that's a great headline. It's not as good as the headline about Eli Manning farting in Gallman's face.
Gallbladder.
Yeah, the gallbladder.
Jesus.
Yeah, but it's still a pretty fucking good headline.
You know what's not a good headline?
No reaction to that news.
What's not a good headline, Dubs?
No words.
Denver versus Carolina.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. Yeah, that's I don't know. Who are you going to take, though? I'm curious.
I went back and forth on this one, and I couldn't really decide. And the driving factor in this was picking the opposite of Meech. So I'm taking Denver, despite them. They scare me so much. They throw so many interceptions. QBs have combined for 14 touchdowns and 19 picks.
Yeah, that's
Drew Lock
crazy.
added to that, he had 2 interceptions in the 22-16 loss to Kansas City, including a fourth quarter one that could have, like, if he didn't throw that pick, they probably could have won that game. As shocking as that sounds.
Yeah, for sure.
But on the other side, Carolina's lost 6 of their last 7. They just got a COVID breakout in their wide receiver room. DJ Moore and is it Jalen Sam? No, Curtis Samuel. There's so many Samuels now. Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore.
Tweak on the addition of so many Samuels.
So many Samuels.
So many Samuels.
It's so many Samuels with Bird Hapley. McCaffrey is expected to play, though, but I was at the start of the day, but I read another report today that the injury he had at the beginning of the season acted up again.
Yeah, high five. They re-added him to the injury report. It's crazy. They are 0-3 when he plays, so maybe they set him out so they might get a win. But like you said, the last 6 weeks of the season, in weeks 6 through 12, they have not looked like the same team that came out firing on all cylinders.
I love Robbie Anderson, though.
Yeah, he's so good. He's another one, though. He always gets injured, too. He's been healthy all season.
Yeah, he's been great for them.
And I'm taking the Panthers in this one.
Yeah, he spoke for you, which I don't know how you feel about, but he spoke for you.
Nah, it's fine. Yeah. It's a back and forth game, and if it were in Denver, I'd probably take Denver. It's not. It's in Carolina. I'm taking the Panthers.
I had a bunch of words warming up in my back pocket, and I took them out, and I just shoved them right down your mouth.
Yeah, he just fucking shoved them right down your gullet. Well, let's move on to the next game, and so it's Houston and Chicago. Let's go Meech first.
Yeah, a game that literally no one wants to fucking see.
Yeah, at all.
You can't hide this away enough at the Eastern 1 o'clock games, the Western 10 o'clock games. Just throw it in with all the other 10 games and hope that it just gets lost in the shuffle. I mean, Trubisky, they've scored 24 points in all of his starts, so at least their scoring is up. But, I mean, I think the Texans are going to win here, so that's what I'm taking. We'll see if Deshaun Watson turns the ball over as much as he did. He had 2 fumbles and an interception last game, and so if he can keep hold of the ball, I like their chances. He is going up against a tougher defense, though.
Meech, how fucking poetic would it be if Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy get fired today or tomorrow, Sunday, whatever the fuck day it is, because the guy they passed on to draft Mitch dismantles their franchise and sends them home. It would be absolutely
didn't even think about that, but
I've been reading it everywhere.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. But yeah, that's pretty like,
that'd be great.
Screw you guys.
Bears have lost 6 straight. They're 29th in scoring, and Deshaun Watson has been on a fucking tear, except for last week, so I expect him to right the ship and sink the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears. All right, so how about, let's see, who's next on the list? Oh, we got Arizona, the DK mode team, and the New York Football Giants. How do you feel about that game, Dubs?
I hate to do it, but I'm taking the New York Football Giants.
I also hate that people call them that. That's so dumb. It's so dumb. You know that's a thing, right? That people call them that?
I know.
What the fuck? Why?
There's that one commentator that would say it every fucking time they played.
Because the New York Giants are the Giants that are now in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's not a good enough reason for me. It's just not.
I mean, that's legitimately why it's happening. But I am going to do the opposite. As much as the Giants made me a believer last week, I'm going to take the Cardinals to rebound here. I don't know why. I couldn't decide who to pick. I don't know. I don't know.
Arizona's offense is struggling, and New York Giants have allowed 20 points or less on all 4 of the... Oh, sorry, they're on a 4-game win streak. Meant to say that first. And they've allowed 20 points or less in every game on that win streak. I think they're going to take advantage of a Cardinals team that is staggering, and their run attack with Alfred Morris and the gallbladder was unstoppable last week. Granted, they were playing Seattle, whose defense sucks, but I think the Giants are going to win this one in a low-scoring game.
Yeah, and the Cards are just another one of those teams that started out good and then has kind of sputtered, just like the Panthers in the last
Arizona
3 weeks.
Started 5-2, and now they've lost 4 or 5. So
yeah, 8 of 13, they're 1-4, and so it's just crazy when you look at that. And I mean, we've talked about it. Lester targets for Hopkins the last couple weeks, but could be partially for who he's going against those last 2 weeks, Gilmore and then Ramsey subsequently thereafter. We'll see if they can get him back on track. I think he's the key to their offense, and if they can do that, they'll be good to go and win like I project.
I meant to touch on that when we talked about the Pats and the Rams. Ramsey and Gilmore on the field on Thursday night.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the other game that no one wants to talk about, which is Dallas and Cincinnati. How about that, Meech? Who you gonna pick?
I'm going Cowboys here, despite what I just fucking saw.
What?
I mean, despite what I just fucking saw, the Bengals at the end of the day are a bad, bad team. And it really shows you how much respect you should have for Joey Bats, because he made this team look decent. They have not looked that way without him.
Yeah, they're averaging 10.8 points per game in 4 straight losses. Brandon Allen is not good. That's at the top of my notes for this game. Punting, they're just punting the season away at this point. Bengals don't care anymore. They have no Joe Mixon. They have no Joe Burrow. Dallas also sucks and should just punt their season away, but they're in the NFC East, so they're always competitive. You're never out of the NFC East.
Oh,
Dolphins
they
returning
are.
home
They
on
are.
a short week.
Yeah.
They gave up 200 plus rushing yards to the Ravens. I don't think that's going to be an issue for them with Cincinnati. So I will pick Dallas.
Jerry Jones has a Daniel Schneider dartboard on his wall right now. Like, how can you be so much better than us?
Jury
Like,
Jones.
He's so
Jerry.
you're picking the Cowboys as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, let's hope that the Bengals keep punting away this season. They screwed up by not trading AJ Green. They should have gotten rid of him, even if it was for like a 3rd-round pick at this point. And use that top 5 pick you're going to get for building a fucking wall in front of Joey Bats.
The Bengals should have to draft like 4 linemen, and it should be a rule. Like the NFL should just not let them do that to Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
like you have to draft
your
linemen.
first 4 picks have to be on linemen. It is a requirement.
Absolutely.
You don't need wide receivers.
Or it should be like a pseudo expansion draft where it's like every team has to give them 1 lineman that they can't protect.
For the safety of the league and Joey Bats, everybody has to give you a lineman.
Yeah, for
who's
football's
protected
sake.
and who's not.
That'd be a good name for a football podcast for football.
Everyone but the Eagles, because you guys don't fucking have any.
Oh my god, I know, dude.
I mean, do you want to talk about that game now? We could just talk about that game now. The Saints and the Eags.
I can do that. We can do that.
Yeah, let's talk about that game now. Who are you going to pick, Meech? We're starting with Meech because it's his team.
I mean, let's start with the headline. Carson Wentz benched.
Yeah, you heard some silence there at the beginning of that.
Was that your moment of silence for his career?
Yeah, it's my moment of silence because I realized that the Giants, the WCF, are just leagues above us and the Cowboys.
The Washington Club of Football?
Yeah, the Washington Club of
The Washington
Football.
Club of Football.
I got the Saints here. I got to pick against my boys again. We'll see if Hurts can come into this game and provide as much energy as he gave the team when he came into the last game. They did look better. Like I said before, it's not all Wentz's fault, but if this guy can put some fucking zap of energy into your team as a whole, it doesn't matter whose fault it is. If it's everyone's fault, it matters that he is making you better. Once again, in a winnable division, this division is still winnable. And that's why, yes, you're locked down to Hurts, and you got to hope that he can repair himself because he's on the contract already. You can't do anything about that. But you at least have to see what you have in Hurts, given that you drafted him with a 2nd-round pick when Mr. fucking clown of a GM doesn't usually have picks because we're usually competitive enough. He goes and gets another piece at the end of the season. But this time we did have a second-round pick after he whiffed on the first-round pick of Jalen Reagor. I say it every week, and I will, because J-Jets, fucking Justin Jefferson, is killing it every fucking week in Minnesota, and we passed right the fuck by him. Anyway, tangent. I'm sorry. Hurts, we'll see if he can do what he did when he came in, and as a whole week of the Saints defense, which is the number one great defense in football, we'll see if they know he's going to be the starter, how they plan to deal with him, and what kind of defense they plan to implement.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the
Getting
Saints.
off my soapbox now. Sorry.
You're good. You can put that back underneath your bed next to your purse.
Jesus
That was a sneaky good fucking insult, dude. I am impressed. Like, that was a sneaky good. It was very low key. It was very, like, usually Dubs' humor is in your face.
It was uncharacteristically subtle.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking good.
Bravo.
Subtle is not what will happen on Sunday. The Saints are going to blow open Philadelphia's back door. The defense, like you said, number one in the league. They're allowing 9.3 points per game since Breeze went out. So they have stepped up in the absence of their quarterback, which has been good because Taysom Hill has not been great. Only 545 passing yards in 3 games, which is less than 200 a game. Not going to get it done. But the defense does. They're going to take advantage of a rookie quarterback out there, and I like the Saints.
All right. Go ahead.
God be with Jalen Hurts, because you were going over your reason, and I picked the Saints for the same reasons. And as I was hearing them again, I was just cringing at this game, and I hope it comes out well.
Jalen Hurts, I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I did hear Chris Carter, the jettisoned ESPN commentator, say that he would keep Roseman over Peterson, and I am the opposite. I feel like Peterson, you can't clear your house. They just won a Super Bowl 3 years ago. It's not that long ago.
I'm glad you said that, because I was actually gonna ask you that, and then I decided against it. So I'm glad you way to go, Meech. Good podcasting, bro.
Yeah, 2017 they won, and it seems like so long ago. Even though I've said the past few episodes, I haven't mentioned the year or anything, but I've said the not so distant future. It seems real distant at this point. I still am totally against. And this might just be because I'm not, I didn't grow up an Eagles fan. I chose them and then have been with them since, but there's still value in winning championships. This coach and GM won a championship. They should get some leeway, but God, you look at Howie Roseman's drafts and you just cringe. I mean, you just cringe.
Yeah. So you don't think that they should go into a rebuild phase then?
You can't be half in, half out, Meech.
It's true. You can't.
That's how teams falter.
You can't prolong the inevitable.
No, I do think they should go into a rebuild phase. I just don't think they should get rid of their coach who just won the Super Bowl 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I do think there is grounds to get rid of Roseman because the moves he's made, have been horrible. Horrible.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Horrible.
I was just curious about what your opinion was on it, because I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm not a Philly sports fan at all, so I don't really know what's going on over there in Philadelphia. All right.
Yeah, no, our line, Double mentioned it before, our line's kind of in shambles. Kelsey's getting up there in age. Lane Johnson's not even that old, but he's trending right next to Jason Peters as far as getting injured every year. I think it's time, to do something, but you do have a max contract player on that quarterback spot, and that's what I'm saying. They need to see what they have in Hurts, because it determines which way they go on, and I think that there's not going to be a competition in the offseason when this man is owed $60 million guaranteed over the next 3 years is kind of crazy. I don't think anyone's going to want that contract given his play, so you're probably going to be stuck with it unless Frank Reich goes, hey, maybe Rivers isn't as good as I thought he was, and they reunite, because Frank Reich was the OC when the Eagles won, and they have looked different since he's left. You think so? There might be a connection there for Wentz to trade the contract. Even then, you have $40 million dead cap money on that. on
Right.
that deal on your books. So
Yeah, that's not good.
To say that there's not going to be a QB competition in the offseason is crazy, but you got to see what you have in your second-round draft pick. Hurts, he looked good in his first game, but they, once again, have the whole week to prepare for him. The more tape you give defenses in the NFL, the worse you play.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you mentioned Frank Reich, and I think that's the perfect segue to take us into Indy versus Vegas.
Yeah, look at my boys doing my job for me.
Did I just do your job for you?
Did I just do your job for you?
It's just a little paper jam.
All right, but seriously, between the two, who you think's coming out on top?
So they've kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum. We knew Indy's defense was good, and they have been. We knew the Raiders' defense was bad, and they have been. They've allowed 20 passing touchdowns this year and only forced 10 picks, which is in the bottom tier for interception rate. And then on the offensive end, I at least expected Rivers to be better than he has been, frankly. He's underperformed. On the other end, the Raiders offense I expected to not be great, and they've been a fringe top 10 offense all year long. The stat that I want to throw out that is the main reason I'm taking the Colts, because with the offense and the defense, I think they're pretty similar. Indiana is the road favorite. Road favorites are 51-21 this year in the NFL, so I will take the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, there's no really home field advantage, it seems like, this year. Colts should win this game. I don't know what they're going to do. It seems like the Raiders will play teams that they have no business beating and beat them. New Orleans, Kansas City, Cleveland, and then lose or almost lose to the Jets. I'm sorry. I'm just going to chalk that up as a loss on their record, but almost lose to the Jets. I mean, I just don't know which Raiders team is going to show up. The Colts have been solid. I mean,
yeah, they have, and like you said, you kind of said it. Like, it seems like the Raiders are on a bit of a downturn. So, I mean, like you said, you don't know which team's going to show up. So I guess that maybe not be fair, but it seems that way to me.
I feel like they peaked too.
Yeah, I feel like they're like on a downturn, and I don't quite know why. Maybe
what are they, 7-5? I could see them slipping in the playoffs as like the 7th spot or the 6th spot, but they're not going to win around.
Yeah, it's like for a few weeks they looked really solid, and I think all three of us were like, yeah, they're looking good. And then like the past week we've been like, oh, maybe not. So like, I don't know. So I take it you're taking the Colts, Meech?
Yeah, I'm with Dubs here, taking the Colts.
What about the Jets and the Seahawks? Who are you taking in that game,
we're both
Meech?
on the same side here.
Yeah, your bet would pay out because our Seahawks are going to win this one.
Oh, you picked the Seahawks?
Oh.
I'm just
I knew that's a smack time right now. I knew that you picked them, and then you said, "Wait, you picked them," and I was like, "Wait, what?"
Jets are 0-12. Greg Williams just got fired for that horrible fucking call we mentioned last week, the cover 0 on the Ruggs play.
That was a tank call, dude. That was a tank call. That's not a horrible call. That shit was done on purpose. That's a tank call. Sorry.
Well, they fired Greg Williams for it.
I didn't mean to interrupt your.
They hit the.
Well, they got to make it look like they're not tanking. So that's probably what they did.
I don't know if it was a tank call or not. We all saw Greg Williams on Hard Knocks last season. I just don't think he likes head coaches. Not last season, the season before last. Yeah, I just don't think he likes head coaches. He got in an argument where he basically called out Hugh Jackson, which who couldn't, and then. It's been well documented, his dislike for Adam Gase this year. I think he's just chippy.
The Gase face. Sorry, I got us off the rails there. Double. It sounded like you're going to rattle off some stats. Good. I'll yield the floor to you, my friend.
You're good. The Jets have been outscored by an average of 14 points this season, and that's through all their games. Outscored by 14 points on average. Sam Darnold is dead in the water. He needs a new start. I don't know if you guys are on the same page as I am, but I think if he ends up in a new situation, he could end up being a decent quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I 100% agree with you.
He needs to get out of New York and get away from Adam Gase.
Yeah, I mean, that's the trend in New York sports in general. The worst.
Although they do still have the only garden.
Fuck off.
Yeah, we do. That's
Fuck
right,
off. You
bitch.
shut
The
the
only
fuck up.
garden ain't no TD garden. That bullshit.
You're
Get the
wrong.
fuck
You're
outta here.
just wrong.
You're wrong. You're wrong. If I go to India, Singapore, Beijing, Tokyo, London,
They're gonna be like, what?
I'm gonna be like,
Where?
yo.
The
I'm
Flower
going to see
Garden out
LCD
back?
sound system at the Garden. What arena do you think that is? They're gonna be like, oh yeah, Madison Square Garden. I have some live albums from there. Ain't nobody got a live
don't know
album from TD Garden.
Anyone in India is gonna. You're gonna say garden.
Hold on,
Like,
John Lennon's one of his best-selling records is live at Madison Square Garden, and John Lennon is world renowned, my friend. So this isn't.
I mean, we
irrelevant
know the
argument.
building hasn't been known for sports for the last.
Oh, I fucking hate you. Good joke, though. All right, so we interrupted Double again. I'm so sorry.
No, I was. Oh no, I wasn't done. Yeah, you're right. You did interrupt me, you motherfucker. I got sidetracked and I was angry because Meech just calling me the fuck out. Seattle's defense has been fucking horrible this year, but they're not going to get torched by Sam Darnold and the Jets offense the way they got torched by Gallman and Alfred Morris, which nobody thought that would happen either. But yeah, no, fuck that. I'm going with the Seahawks. Jets are terrible. They're going to be 0-18. I almost asked you this question last week, and I kind of wish I did because the Steelers lost, but I was going to ask you guys who you thought was going to win a game or lose a game first, the Jets or the Steelers. And I would have gone with the Steelers losing, and it did happen.
Good for you.
I would have gone with the Jets. I
Really?
knew that the Steelers would lose.
No, that's what I meant. Who would?
Well,
would the
I mean,
Steelers-
do you think the Jets are going to win a game this season?
No, I'm saying.
Well,
I
I
thought
mean,
the
that's
Jets
how
would
I
go-
would phrase the question. What's more likely to happen?
Right. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
It
yeah.
sounded like you thought they might win a game this season. I was like, really?
No.
Yeah, I thought that's
it's
how you
definitely
said it.
easier to go 0-16 than it is to go 16-0.
Yeah. Obviously,
That's
yeah.
that's true shit.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's hard to
Meech
lose every
spitting
game in
facts.
the NFL, as we've
Meech
seen,
spitting
but-
truth. Meech is truthing. All right, so speaking of a team that's not so great, how about Detroit and Green Bay?
I'm going with Green Bay. Devontae Adams is finally healthy. In the 10 games he's played in this season, Green Bay averages 33 plus points per game. You can do the math there. This season for Devontae Adams in those 10 games, 84 catches. Over
Wait, did you
1,000
say they
yards.
averaged 34 points a game?
Yeah,
Isn't that Devontae Adams' number?
34. No, he's a receiver. Nothing.
I'll check. I'm
He's a
Googling.
receiver. That's wrong. I can't think of what number. I think he's 11 or 18.
He's 17. I'm an
Seven-
idiot. I think 34.
You know what? I'm going to leave that silence in the show because it's so fucking funny.
I don't know.
on
Why
this
the fuck did I
side-
think he was 34?
I don't know, dude. You say names wrong and number. You might be dyslexic.
I honestly think I am.
Detroit yields the most
On the
fantasy
depressing part
points
of this
defensively
podcast.
this season. The 2 games before the comeback last week against the Bears, they were outscored 61-25, and that was by the Texans and the Lions. The Texans.
They
and-
outscored themselves?
Yeah, Texans and the Panthers. It was another big cat.
Who's
Sorry.
misspeaking now,
That's-
motherfucker?
That's how bad they are. They outscored themselves.
Yeah, Packers are going to win this. They have that bump for firing their head coach for 1 week. It's not going to happen the second week. Packers will roll. Also back, not only is Devontae Adams healthy, but you saw their other wide receiver. Adam Lazard. Jesus Christ. You saw Adam Lazard last week as well, and he's definitely better than MVS.
I could tell Meech was like hot in the face high before this started. He is wrecked today.
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, I saw a tweet the other day where someone was saying that he might deserve MVP over Mahomes. Do you think that's true?
I think he's in the running. I don't think he's thrown an interception since like week 6.
Because like I don't know. Okay, I don't really know the history of the MVP award in the NFL as well as I should. But I know in a lot of other sports, except the NBA actually does it really well, I think. It's like they give the MVP to like who won the most, and I don't think that's fair. I think you and I have had this conversation, Dubs. Like I think an MVP award
Yeah, we
should
for
go
sure
to
have.
someone who's like more important to their individual team. You know, and like the guy was basically making the point, like if you take him off that team and put some, Joe Schmo quarterback in there, are they as good? Probably not. So I don't know. My vote is I think
probably. There's no probably about it.
Exactly.
If you take him off that team, they're a 6-10 team. I was trying to do the math there. We all know that's not my strong suit. 6-10 team. I mean, like Aaron Jones, well, him too. Aaron Rodgers fucking wins this team, makes this team relevant. I mean, you draft his replacement. He won you the first Super Bowl. If you have a chance at winning another, it will be him. He's definitely, I think, my pick. Just because
me too.
Of the tools around him. I mean, Kansas City they just have everyone.
So I have a comparison of Rodgers and Mahomes' stats. Mahomes this season, 3,800 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And on the other side, Rodgers has just under 3,400 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions.
Yeah, so
Mahomes is leading in every category there besides touchdowns, but it's not.
Look at who's around him, though.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Where it's
Aaron
like
Rodgers has nothing close
exactly. So like he's more valuable. I don't know. That's just
he has Devontae Adams, who's a bona fide badass. But other than that,
right. That's what I'm saying, though. But okay, so let's move it on.
Badass for you to fucking get his number right, apparently.
All right. It's becoming a hate circle again. I like it to be a love circle.
Nah, I mean, he called it out. I don't know how I got that. I whiffed that badly.
Whiffer. That's a turtle.
What was worse,
no more
Marzania or that one?
I'm going to say Marzania is worse.
I think so, too.
It's definitely
although maybe not.
He's been on my team at least the last 3 out of the 4 fantasy.
Yeah, it's definitely
not
worse.
like I don't know who he is. I've acquired him in fantasy baseball every year for the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, you're right. That's 100% worse. All right, let's move it on. Now, before we do, I'm going to say something. Now, the game, I'm not going to say what you think I'm going to say. The game is the Falcons and the Chargers. Now, here is what I will concede, okay? I'm a Rams fan.
Huge Chargers fan. Biggest Chargers fan around.
Massive.
Can I finish, Larry?
Massive Chargers fan.
If I had a second team, it's going to be the Chargers. But they are a second team, not the first.
It's so weird that you
second to none. The Chargers are your favorite team.
It is weird. I'm a little weird with sports. I mean, the Rangers and the Mets is a hilarious story. I had a family member who I won't name because I don't what I'm about to say about him, but he's basically like a piece of shit. And we were watching the Mets play the Braves sometime around like the turn of the century, we'll put it that way, right? And he was like, God, I fucking hate the Mets. Except he said it like, I fucking hate the Mets. And I was like, I'm going to be a Mets fan. But the joke's on me because they fucking suck. But
yeah, the joke is on you.
But anyway, cool. I don't know. I'm weird. I like the Rangers because it's New York and I got family from the area. So, that's and they're the shit. They're the classiest team.
They're
in
pretty
all of hockey.
shit, yeah.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Your team's going to be dog shit in 5 years, and then we'll talk. Anyway, so...
Brad?
Brad? Licking faces. Brad's a COVID risk if I've ever seen one.
Shut the fuck up.
Licking people and shit.
All right, come on, guys. I'm trying to get us back on the rails. Let me do my job
that
for once.
Brad leads the league. Good God.
We keep that in football with the goddamn Jets, Meech.
All right, come on. Like I said, I'm trying to get us back on track. Let me do my job. So, between the Falcons and the Chargers...
You know who can't get anything back on track? Anthony Lynn.
Thank you.
I got you, Birdie. 3-9 Chargers. Air Bear looking like rookie of the year. Despite that, Anthony Lynn, since 2019, coaching this team, is 8-20 and 4-16 in one-score games. On the other side, since the firing, Atlanta is 4-3 since Raheem Morris took over. They've forced a fumble in 3 straight games, including 2 defensive scores, so their defense has looked improved. And on offense, I don't think the Chargers have anyone to compete with Ridley and Jones, who have over 1,600 yards between the two of them.
I mean, Keenan Allen is popping off, but you have to be able to get the ball to him. They could not last week, probably because he was going up against Gilmore. But
Gilly.
Yeah, I'm also choosing the Falcons here. They've just looked different since Raheem Moore. Raheem Morris? Raheem Moore?
Raheem Moore was a
There it is
receiver.
There it
Raheem
is again.
Morris is the coach for the Falcons.
Okay, Raheem Morris took over, changed the culture of the locker room. They look like they're actually playing.
No, Raheem Moore was a safety. I got it. He wasn't a receiver.
I got it.
Holt
I got
safety,
it.
Right?
All right. So now we're going to talk about him again. The Washington Football Club. And
Doubling down on the Washington Football Club this week.
Are you?
Are you really?
I am. Washington Football Club is going to beat the San Francisco 49ers. Both teams allow less than 24 points per game. Washington's been great against the pass. Antonio Gibson was shut out last week, basically, by the Steelers. He had under 20 yards, I believe. San Francisco.
He left. Yeah, he left the game injured. I mean, he left the game in the first.
Yeah, because McKissick had 10 catches. You're right.
Yeah, they used the shit out of McKissick. I mean, he has looked great for them, honestly.
Yeah, you're right. He's taking up that Chris Thompson role. On the other end, San Francisco finally got their run game going last week. They had almost 5 yards per carry between their two running backs, Mostert, and the other guy's name is escaping me, but he lit us up. No, it was the other guy.
McKinnon?
Nope.
They have so many fucking running backs.
That's what I'm saying.
They just have a bevy of them.
He just goes, nope.
They've got a small army, but I think I like the Washington Football Club in the pass game, both offense and defensive wise. I like San Francisco in the run game, both offensive and defensive wise, and I think Washington will edge it out with their defense.
I'm picking San Francisco. What do I get if I win? You send me a gram of the Durban poison. How about that?
That would be illegal.
Yeah, interstate commerce much, asshole.
We'll talk off air. How about that?
Okay, I'm okay with that. Meech, you?
You maybe send me some money. I maybe send you some weed.
She asked me if I know some maybe people. I say
She asked me if I know some maybe people. I'm taking the 49ers as well. And I'm not going to ask for anything. We've talked about this before. I don't know why you're so ballsy on asking for shit when you make one fucking pick a week. But
I'm going to bake you a tray of cookies. So that you can just eat a fucking cookie, whatever you want.
Yeah,
you want to know what? One of the ones.
You still got that tray?
If it's if it's got Durban poison in it, I'll eat that
get a
cookie.
Fucking cookie.
Jesus,
your mom can get a cookie.
We could arrange that.
Yeah, let's arrange that. I'll meet you halfway, bro. Doesn't have to be interstate. I'll meet you halfway.
Got fucking Fergie over here. Meet me halfway, huh?
Oh, my God.
Anyway, 49ers are going to win this. I think Shanahan is going to be able to get the ball out of Big Nick Mullen's hand before the Washington pass rush can get to him. So he's a genius offensive mind. I think he's going to be able to figure something out to make this defense not look as good. I mean, I don't even think it's that great of a defense, but they do have a good defensive line. I think Shanahan's going to make them not look as good. Revenge game for Alex Smith, by the way, from the team that drafted him and then moved on.
Number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. Passing up Aaron Rodgers. Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh.
That one stings a little, huh, San Fran?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, you say their defense isn't that good, but they did look good in the last game. So we'll see.
They only had to worry about a pass game. They knew that they weren't running the damn ball.
Yeah, fair enough. That's true. No, that's a great point.
Chase Young is a fucking animal.
Yeah, you can't give pass rushers like that free notice that you're passing the ball. You just can't do it. They'll go after you.
Hey, double. Your mom's an animal. All right. One more. Sorry, I apologize. I apologize. I respect you. You're a great woman. I respect you.
Jesus, what a bitch. You just apologize?
Yeah, I like his mom. She's chill. It's just a joke. I can apologize for
Mom's
a joke.
a hoe.
Holy shit. That's the best one ever. That is the best one that's ever been made in the years I've known you guys. All right, look, we got one more game to talk about, and then we can get the fuck out of here. Your mom's a hoe. So, between the Steelers and Buffalo, who you taking, Meech?
I wanted to know so much who Dubs wanted to pick on this. I'm going by
Buffalo.
Yo,
yes, let's go, Meech.
Yeah. I don't think that the Steelers losing to Washington Football Club means they're bad. I just think the Bills are better than everyone's giving them credit for. And I might have said exactly the opposite of this like 4 weeks ago because I feel like I did.
You did.
But God damn it, they look good at certain points.
You're like, Bills are fake team. They're not good. Like 3 weeks ago.
That take didn't age well, huh?
I mean,
Buffalo
I
has
like
won-
their coach, ex Andy Reid Apostle.
Big apostle guy, Meech.
And like I said, I hated Allen coming out, but he's looked good the last season and a half. I mean,
It's been great.
He showed flashes of that last week again. Like I said, he just does that rollout play so well.
He was my preseason pick for MVP. I thought he was going to go fucking off this. I mean, he has, but he hasn't been MVP. But he's still been great. 32 for 40 last week. 375, 4 touchdowns, no picks. We touched on that earlier. Buffalo's won 5 of 6 since they had that 2-game skid in the middle of the season. Steelers, 29th in rushing. They didn't even fucking try. More injuries. You touched on it earlier, Meech. And I said the stat too. 7 wins for them are over teams below 500. I think this is where Buffalo's going to prove they're legit. And the Steelers are going to lose the number 1 seed to the Chiefs here.
The Steelers do, though, get back James Conner, and we'll see if that can revitalize their run game.
It wasn't great before he went out. The Steelers averaged under 90 yards per game rushing last year and are at 90 per game this year. And that's 29th, and I believe the 87 was 31st. So their run game, even with Conner, has not been great the last couple seasons.
No, they do get him back, and I mean, I am choosing the Bills here, but out of all the injuries, they are at least getting him back. I think he was actually on the COVID list as well.
He was.
All right, well, I have to pee again. I'm just brimming with piss today, and I really want to go play Cyberpunk. So, I'm going to say that that's going to do it for us on this episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We really appreciate it. Follow us on all social media. That's Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. It's all Stone Sports Podcast.
We're also working on getting on Apple.
Yes, we are. So hopefully that's going to happen real soon. And when it does, we will update the shit out of you. Anything else you want to say, boys?
No.
Nope.
All right, say goodbye.
Peace.
Peace.
Lighters.